Hi, I'm Crystal. Today's Junk Journal July prompt is pockets, and so I'm going to make 3 different types of pockets today, and I'm putting these pockets on the spot where the signature ends and begins. I'm using twine binding on my junk journal, and the book kind of naturally falls open at those spots, and so if I'm going to make a lumpy spot by having a bunch of stuff in a pocket, that's where I want the pocket to be. So I'm starting off just decorating the background a little bit. I'm going to set that aside to dry, and then I'm starting a pocket on the front of the next signature. I'm using a 1-inch hole punch to make a little thumb notch, which makes it easier to take things in and out. And I'm going to stick this pocket down using some double-sided tape. The pocket itself is made of vellum, and vellum is plastic. So it's tough working with a liquid adhesive with vellum. Usually a strong double-sided tape is the way to go when you're working with that particular material. And it does show through the vellum, but since the background in this case is so busy, it's not really noticeable. I mean, you can look at the picture and see that even if you can see the adhesive, it doesn't really matter. Since I had the double-sided tape out, and since that backing is kind of textured, I went ahead and used the double-sided tape to adhere it, making sure that the page I'm sticking it to is right side up. You don't want the pocket pointing down. That's the danger of not working inside your book all the time, although I do like it when I'm doing something that involves quite a lot of water or a lot of mess. Better to be able to take it out. So now this first thing is dry, and I took up an ad for tinfoil, and I fussy cut out the tinfoil piece. So it looks like the pocket is made of tinfoil. I think it's really cool. This is a current ad that's appeared in quite a few magazines, so if you like the look, flip through whichever magazine you have at hand, because you probably have a picture of tinfoil. I had the double-sided tape out, so double-sided tape again. I do have some blog posts about the cost of different kinds of adhesive. I actually did the math about how much it costs per foot to use different types of liquid glue and dry glue, and dry tape. So if you're interested in that subject, I will link to the blog post below. So here I'm putting the signature back into the book, or this is the outside of that signature. So I've got 2 different kinds of pockets there. And the next kind of pocket I'm going to make is going to be a brown paper bag pocket, but I'm going to use some junk mail windows when I do that. So I've always been told junk mail windows don't really go in your paper recycling. I guess I should Google that. I don't know if that's accurate. So if you know, give me a comment. But I'm just pulling the windows out of the junk mail. And then I'm going to flip through them to see if I have some that match. Because if you have a couple of windows that are the same size, it's really handy for making shaker pouches. So I'm going to set aside any that match for shaker pouches some point in the future, and I'm just using the singletons for my paper bag pockets. So this paper bag is from H-E-B, fabulous local grocery chain, and I'm just measuring it to about 6.5 inches. I don't want it to take up the entire page. And since it's a baguette bag, or sometimes they put bottles of wine in these bags as well, I'm cutting off the bottom 6.5 inches of the bag, and then I'm going to cut off the top 6.5 inches of the bag. So obviously that is going to leave the top part with an open bottom. So I could have cut it off a little bit longer and folded up the bottom and stapled it or something, but I'm just going to take that double-sided tape and a little liquid glue, and I'm just going to seal up the bottom. This is not load-bearing paper, so the seal doesn't have to be that great. But you do have to glue the fold part of the bag as well as the flat part of the bag. So this bag has got gussets on the sides, and if you don't glue the gussets, then your contents can still fall out. So now I'm taking that 1-inch hole punch and making another thumb notch in the plain end. And then I'm going to take a punch and make a window in each of these paper bag pockets. So I use the curly label on one, and then I'm going to use the hex on the other. And just for fun, I mean, you don't need to put anything inside that pocket, but just for fun, I'm going to take my junk mail window and I'm going to put it inside that hole so that there's a little glassine window instead of just a hole. So in this case I use Scotch tape because I need something, you know, just to hold the window in place, but not so sticky that I'm going to stick it to something permanently inside the bag as I'm loading the glassine. So Scotch tape was the perfect solution. So here I'm going to put the glassine in the second window for the second pocket, so that we've got matching windows on our two pockets. And then I'm going to take a look at the side of the bag, which is split open a little bit. I haven't really used a lot of washi tape in this junk journal, but I felt like a decorative piece of washi tape was the right solution for sealing up the split side of that bag. And I always like to glue the washi tape down. Washi tape is meant to be removable, and since I don't want this coming off, I'm just gluing it onto the paper bag. And then, you know, what the heck, I'm going to lean into the washi tape. So all the washi tape. Get out all the washi tape, and I'm going to glue down some decorative strips of washi tape as well. So usually when I'm doing a project, I like to be visually cohesive, and so I picked out an assortment of washi tape before I started this project, and I've just had it in my little project bowl as I go along. And so every time I use washi tape, I'm picking from the same assortment, so that when you see washi tape multiple places throughout the journal, it's going to be consistent across the journal. I don't know that that's really necessary, but I like it that way. So once I've got all the washi tape adhered, I'm going to decorate the front of the pockets a little bit. So I'm going back to that same bowl, and I'm just picking through what I've got in the bowl to see what I might like to put on the front of my pockets. And so I'm picking out a few things that are vaguely road trip related, because that's really what I think I need to put in and out of these pockets are road trip plans. I really like that picture of the bears at Caught My Park too. I don't know if I'll ever get to the park, but they do have a live cam on YouTube. So here are my finished pockets, 2 paper bags, the 1 magazine advertisement, and the vellum. Thanks for joining me.